Hello, my earthy people, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Gerard Lewat, owner and creator of Earth's Curious Goods. And today, as you can see, we have candles. We have crystals and bath bombs, and they're in the shot, so I'm going to definitely talk about them since they're in the shot. But today, mainly, I want to talk about candles. For me, these are going to be the 4 colors that I use in my circle. And some witches don't use candles at all in their circle. They just mark it in a different way, or, you know, candles are just not part of their craft. But for me and my coven, we definitely use candles. And the reason why is because each of the candles, for instance, I have my yellow candle, my blue candle, my red candle, and my green candle. And all of them go into a specific corner of my circle. And a common practice for a lot of witches, and what I would recommend is if you can't get the exact colors down, or you're missing one of the colors, like say you can't get yellow and all you have is, you know, a whole bunch of blue, then you want to turn all 4 of the candles into white. And white is it's a universal color of purity and cleansing and so forth. And you could imagine each candle a different color. You would visualize that candle becoming that color, or you could just have them all white, and that's just a great representation until you can get all representations of these colors. But yes, highly recommend that you would just do all white candles if you cannot get these colors, yellow, blue, red, or green. And there are other colors too that you could alternate colors. Like I said, instead of yellow, you can use gold, blue, a dark blue, a deep blue, navy blue, different shades of blue, a aquamarine kind of color. Red, you could do a fiery red, more of a you can do an orange, but I would do more like a sunburst, closer to the reddish family, to represent that. And green, you could do brown. You could use black. I don't really recommend that. Black can be a volatile color to use in a circle, just because it could be, other representations for black where it's banishing, hexing, and so forth, and we don't want to go down that road. So I would do more green or brown. And what that does is, for us, it marks a boundary. So it lets us know that, hey, that this is the direction of, for instance, green for north, or yellow for east, or red for south, or blue for west. And it's also representing the elements. So as we light it, it actually is part of opening or casting our circle, as we call it. And green would call earth, yellow would call air, red would call fire, and blue would call water. And it just helps us keep our frame of mind as well. As the candles are lit, it lets us know that the element is there, we've summoned it, and it's blessed. So these aren't just regular candles, we just don't go to the store and these are the candles that we have. And me being a candle maker as well, and I also sell candles in my store, well, they're also handmade, so they have a personal touch as well. But each candle is charged, so you just don't, get a candle and put it in your circle. They have representations for it, and each color represents something as well. So yellow, for instance, would be confidence and light, and it's inspiration. And some people will do yellow for money or prosperity, like gold, for instance. And sometimes you can use gold. Other people do orange or yellow, and sometimes I'll trade up the colors. Sometimes I'll do orange instead of yellow, but I prefer yellow. It's just for the east, for wind, or air, shall I say. And for blue, I have water. So with blue, it's more of, intuition, psychic powers, and it's, for the element of water. It's for calling that. And so we use blue. Red, for red, we have for passion, like confidence is also another big thing. Sometimes they'll do red for strength, for power. Red for passion, and with passion there's a lot of love. Some people will do red for love, but for the most part in my circle it's for fire. Green will be for earth, and green of course can be used for prosperity as well, for stability, grounding, nurturing Mother Earth, and of course it does represent earth. And so with all four of these, they represent our four elements, and they are placed in each of their corners. So for the yellow candle, we'll place in the east. The blue candle will place in the west. The red candle will place in the south, and for my green candle, we'll place in the north. And that marks the quarters of our circle. So each one of us, are representations of of the circle and of the elements, and we'll take our places in that circle. But that, we'll go further more in that. But right now, it's just for the candles. And for the candles, with candles, they're, when you get your candle, you also want to do what's called anointing. So any candle that you get, there's different ways to anoint it. This is what we do, and we'll take blessing oil or any kind of anointing oil. And what we'll do is you'll take your fingers and you start from the middle of the circle, the middle of the candle, and you'll rotate going upwards and with the oil on your fingers. I prefer to use my power hand, the hand that I write with, for instance, and I'll anoint it. So a motion of going up, and then I'll take the candle from the middle and going down. And it's kind of just a balancing, so it's like an up and a down. So it's a balancing out the candle. Now, when it comes to doing spell work, or if this candle is a representation for something, you can also start from the bottom of the candle and anoint it up. And that's kind of like drawing stuff to the candle, to yourself, positive magic, things that you want coming towards you. And then you would take the candle, and of course while anointing, and you could go downward spiral, and that's kind of taking things away, banishing, removal, things, roadblocks, obstacles that you want to get rid of. It depends on what you're doing for the candle. You want to put intention into it, put power into it as you're anointing it as well. So visualization is key, and visualization is very important because it helps you focus, and you definitely want to focus your intention into the candles as you are anointing it. And with my candles too, you want to, I'll put sigils on them to represent the elements, or symbols that are very personal. I'll put it onto the candles as well. But this is all, your intuition, follow that, your intention, and, trial and error. That's with experience. That's what works for me and my coven, and, it may not work for you. And you just have to do trial and error and see where it goes, how you feel, how the elements respond to you. These were not, the original candles. I have gone through many different types of candles and different methods, and some of them weren't very successful. Sometimes the elements didn't respond, and you can kind of tell. You're always wondering, Gerard, what do you mean, the elements? And when you're calling them, you kind of know the candle won't ever stay lit. You can't light it, but if you light it outside of the circle, it just lights perfectly. Nothing's wrong. The flame won't stay lit, but if you take it outside of your circle and just use it normally, then it stays lit. So that's kind of what, the element kind of giving you a clue, I don't like that candle, or you just didn't do it correctly, I don't like how you called it. Or the candle could burn down, you could just have the two of the same candles, and suddenly the candle just burned down instantly. And you didn't like it, it got consumed. You'll notice wax all over the place. And there's just different things, so different experiences, and just go with it. And I can't tell you that that's the wrong way or the right way. It's your own path, you have to follow it. But yeah, so some candles, and just a little bit of how to use them in your circle. And like I said, not all witches use candles in their circles, but I prefer to. I've always used candles in my circle, and I just prefer it. But over here is what I have is a crystal grid, and I'll have quartz crystals and amethyst. And right now these are bath bombs that were made, and they're cured. And now with the grid, it is now infusing the bath bombs with good vibrations, good intentions, feel good, relaxation, and it's how I empower the crystals. So the crystals are kind of talking, and all of them are focusing into the middle, and this is the power crystal. And the crystals kind of arrange themselves. You kind of just know, the design. That's what makes Earth's Curious Goods very unique is that my craft is actually creating some of these products. It's not something that it's my own signature, it's my own energy also going into these things. And with being a practicing witch, it helps make these products. So, you know, these bath bombs are going to different clients. These are actually rose bath bombs, and I can just smell them. I don't have any gloves, so I can't touch them. So, and plus they're actually being empowered, and I don't really want to disturb them. I just want the crystals to do their own thing. I'm gonna let it set for at least a week, sometimes 2. It just depends on the energy. And with the amethyst crystals, with it empowering it, giving some psychic power, the quartz crystals are kind of you know, creating this little grid, this little energy cone that's right here in the middle, and it empowers all of this, so that when my clients and customers, you know, just drop it into their bath, they're going to release that energy into their bath unknowingly. And you know, they don't have to believe in any of this. Sometimes, you know, some people are just, you know, they don't want to believe in anything like this. They just want the bath bomb, and that's fine. And that's what makes my bath bombs very unique, though. It's because it's empowered with energy, but they're also not light. You know, most bath bombs, you know, you just put them in your bath and they float, and then they make all these colors. Yes, do they make colors? Do they swirl? Yeah, that is awesome. And these bath bombs do that. However, mine are very heavy, so they tend to they sink to the bottom, and then they do their thing, because I want your bath to be fully immersed with all the beneficial oils and the butters that are inside of here, the Epsom salts. I need all of that to also go into the bath while the energy is being released in the water, since water is such a great conduit for energy. And it's a proven fact that crystals give off energy, and that's science. So not just with, you know, magic. If you just don't believe in magic, just this should go with science on how crystals actually give off energy, how watches can be run off of quartz crystals, but that's another take. So I hope all of you are doing wonderful. Thanks for visiting my channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope all of you have a witchy day. Blessed be.